One here tonight for January 9th, believe it or not, 2024. And I also would like to welcome those that are watching by way of internet tonight. Sometimes I forget that, so I apologize if I have. All right. First order of business here, we'll look at see what's going on the calendar. Our next regular scheduled meeting is January the 23rd. And then also on Monday, January the 25th, the town offices will be closed for Martin Luther King Day. And also there's also, I'm not sure of the time, but I think there's a parade on Saturday on Main Street. Am I correct?
There's a march for Martin Luther King.
March for Martin Luther King.
Starts at 11 at the courthouse.
It's starting at the courthouse, yeah. Kurt's got that information there if anybody's interested in involved in that. Okay, with that, I'll have a public comment session here, and I will go ahead and we'll have a 3-minute time limit, and our town attorney here will be keeping that time limit. And our first person on here is Debbie Hall.
Good evening, everyone. I am Debbie Hall. I'm the owner of Pharmacy Bakery. Thank you for this opportunity. I'll try my best to get this done in 3 minutes. I will be quickly. I stand before you today as the owner of Pharmacy, not only as the owner of Pharmacy, but as a concerned community member addressing an issue affecting businesses on Hazelwood Avenue. Having been a former founding member of the Hazelwood Boosters, I have a unique perspective on what I'm about to say. The issue at hand involves around perceived lack of transparency and collaboration exhibited by the boosters with event planning. Transparency, as I see it, should entail a comprehensive explanation of the what, the why, how of proposed actions to those that might be affected. This is particularly crucial before seeking approval from the town to proceed. Additionally, transparency should extend to how any money raised will be utilized, especially when local businesses may be sacrificing their own income as a result of these events. The boosters seem to prioritize pre-approval communication from the town council with post-approval announcements made to merchants. Unfortunately, this approach has led to severe consequences for some businesses. For example, the unannounced combined cruise-in and Hazelwood event specifically impacted my bakery, cutting off access and disrupting our operation. As for Hazelwood itself, cruise-in seemed to take center stage in the once vibrant family event, in my opinion, was a shadow of its former self, and what was combined event was not transparent to us. I don't know if it was transparent to you. The boosters' recent announcement of more cruise-ins for 2024 with vacancy revealed from town council approval raises concerns again about the potential impact on businesses once this takes place. I'm not seeking to prevent these events, but it's crucial to acknowledge that our main streets are not intended to serve as exclusive playgrounds for certain groups. I urge the town council to consider regulations to safeguard the interests of merchants. Specifically, I propose the following: that we have public merchant meetings, and to facilitate this, I'm trying to get an actual merchant group together for Hazelwood in 2024. I think that the Hazelwood boosters and merchants should have access to each other and discuss things before approvals have been made and shut down the business. Event limitations and limit cruise-ins or any same event type per year on Hazelwood Avenue, similar to Main Street block parties. Holiday weekend restrictions prohibit concurrent events, such as what happened with Hazelwood and cruise-in, and then possibly limit events that can happen on holiday weekends, July 4th, Labor Day, depending on when and how those events are going to take place. Alternative locations. Encourage clubs like the boosters to explore alternative locations for events such as Virginia Avenue, local public parks, or the Smoky Mountain Event Center. In conclusion, my intention is not to impede community events, but to advocate for regulations that strike a balance between community engagement and the well-being of our local businesses. I feel that through open communication and collaboration, we can find solutions that benefit both sides. Thank you for your time, understanding, and commitment to ensuring the continued prosperity of the
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, our next, Terry Kelly.
Good evening. I'm Terry Kelly. I live on Auburn Road here in Waynesville. What I'd like to talk to you about tonight is keeping our streets safe. It's been a pretty bad day in Waynesville. A lot of rain, wind, and so forth. And unfortunately, it's been made worse by the fact that our streets are maintained in a good fashion. And I'm talking about leaf collection. I ran into the same thing last year. I called numerous times, most of the time getting a voicemail, not getting a response. But I've had leaves piled up on Auburn Road there for almost 2 months. Nobody's been by to get them. They've sat there. People along the street have had leaves piled up. So today, when all that rain came, they all washed down the street right into the drainage area, which sits right in the curve at the top of the hill. Water was backed up all the way across the road, making it very hazardous for people who came by. Lots of trees there, and somebody spun out and could easily have dead. Their solution was to come by and remove just enough leaves to let the water go through, but there's still 5 inches of leaves right there in the middle of the road, slick as big. But it could easily have been fixed if we had simply gotten the leaves up when we should have in a timely fashion. Now, every time I call, I'm told, well, we've got 3 vacuum trucks, 2 of them are broken down. Well, that's pretty pathetic. You know, we can't keep things running. I mean, I looked today on the North Carolina Department of Revenue website. It looks like people in Asheville and people in Raleigh pay less than that. So I wonder why we can't keep those trucks running. And really, if we can't keep them running, if that's just not possible, then I think we need to look at reallocating some money to get trucks. And if that's not possible, I believe the town probably owns a dump truck and some pitchforks and some shovels. And that these people that drive these trucks probably aren't sent home when the trucks are broken down. They could be out getting the leaves up the way they used to. But it's incredulous that we have in that area of town. I don't know how it is the rest of the town. The only pickup that's been there was in early October, just a few of the leaves fallen. There's been nobody back there since. And so it's a travesty that that we can't get good service, at least in that part of town, and get those leaves collected and keep people safe when they come down the road, and to make sure that our streets are safe. And when we have weather like this, that we're not creating further problems because our town is not taking care of cleaning up our streets as it should. So I hope that you will take these comments under consideration, look into that problem, and see if there's not a solution that we can come up with. I think there is. I think there's a reasonable chance to come up with a solution within the budget. And if not, then maybe we should reallocate some money to take care of this because it's a problem. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Ricky, will you please drive out Auburn Road there and check that out there, and make sure that the leaves are picked up in that area there. I totally appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Okay, that was the end of the public comment time. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? If not, I'll ask for a motion that the agenda as written be approved.
I'll make a motion, Mayor, that the agenda be approved.
Second, Chuck, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, got a motion?
Second.
Second by Julia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay. We have a presentation tonight from our police chief, David Evans. David Evans. David Adams. Oh, how did I get Evans on the mind here? Apologize, my friend. Whoever that is, he's probably not a bad guy. Okay. All right. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members for your time. Jim and Mary Ford. As most of you know, Jim and Mary, you've seen around here for the last 13 years. They've been a great asset to the town of Waynesville. They were even responsible for getting these nice uniforms, civilian police academy, volunteers. They have spent countless hours and years helping the town, saving the town, and the taxpayers lots of money for man hours. working festivals, parades, and so on. They've even helped out Maggie Valley and Canton with their parades. It's an honor and privilege to recognize you tonight for your 13 years of dedicated service. They've helped our volunteer program become recognized throughout Western North Carolina. Every year they're there helping out the Chiefs of Police Association, which is coming up next week. They help out the vendors and other chiefs of police, chief association. And also they organized and made our program much better. And we have a civilian academy every year, which they help people on and improved it greatly. And it's a great honor and privilege. Also, I don't want to forget this. The last 10 years or so, they've been helping out with our SWAT team. They go to Florida every year. In Orlando, the International Roundup. They're there the whole week, encouraging our guys, bringing them snacks, water. We provide a meal while they're there. We will be greatly missed.
I promise to keep consistent.
They're leaving it in great hands. They'll still be around to help out. Hopefully. And also, they both retired from the military. I'd like to recognize that. Here's your plaques. Jim and Mary Ford, 13 years of dedicated service. Thank you very much.
I promise I will not speak as long as I normally speak.
You can speak as long as you want.
13 years. I discovered as I was getting ready to retire that I had actually made goals along the way for the group. And I realized that I had reached the goals. Bill, you remember when we started, we were a ragtag group. We didn't even have uniforms. And you guys looked at us like, what the heck are you doing in my building? And we have come a long way. We are now to the point where David says, we can't do that unless we have the wrong to do. So once I realized I had reached my goal, I knew it was time to retire and to pass it on to someone new. But I had a couple of things that I didn't get to do, and I get to do them tonight. First, I'd like to thank the department for their support. It's been a long road, and look how far we've come. And the number one thing I wanted to do is I want to thank this group of volunteers. I want to thank them publicly and on the record. And that is something that has been in my heart for a couple of years, and now I get to do it. Their level of professionalism and dedication is not something you can teach. It's something that comes from the heart. And this town and the surrounding community is a better place because of the volunteers who have the police service. And I thank you. I am so glad I did it. I wanted to thank Mayor Caldwell and this board for your support over the years. I know that it's because of you that we were able to have these uniforms. Up until that point, we were in blue polo shirts with a lot of girls in the wrong. You have recognized that not only are we an asset to the town, we're an asset to Haywood County and to the state. And I thank you very much in a small token of my appreciation. Like to each of you with one of our challenge coins, which I hold dear in my heart, so I don't give these away lightly. And I'm sorry, you only have one.
I know, so thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you very well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know we are truly blessed and really wrong. It's very rare that we have everyone together at one spot.
That means if you're one of the civilians, please come up here. We're known across the state as the blue shirt. That came to pass when we worked at the police conference, and Terry Troutman named us the blue shirt. Yeah.
How are you?
I appreciate y'all taking time out of the meeting to do this. It's just rare that we have one place at that time.
Well, sure. This is. This is about half. Not everybody.
How great. Thank you all for what you did. Honestly.
And Jim and Mary, I want to personally thank you for all the 13 years that you guys have put in restructuring the police academy there to make it what it is today. And it wouldn't be the way it is today without you two guys. So I personally want to thank you so much because I've been here from the beginning with you. Yeah. And y'all has done a remarkable job, dealing with the days when we didn't allow dogs back to the days where we allowed dogs. I could go on, but anyway, I wanted to, on behalf of this board, personally thank you two for your commitment to what you have done for the police academy. Thanks. Okay.
That was a perfect segue, Mayor.
Retirement for K9 Luke, Assistant Police Brandon Gilmore.
He's outside. Here he comes.
Get ready.
He was
Get
like,
ready,
get this
guys.
over with.
Be on your best behavior.
That's part of the meeting. It's here. Oh, bless his heart.
Oh yeah.
He's got his toy. Oh my God.
He
I
is
start
all
crying.
day.
Every time.
He's got some age on him, though.
Well, we thought it was only fitting, do a retirement for Luke, at the same time, we recognize him, they have been supportive of the case, been very supportive of the dog program as well throughout the years. So, we thought it was the perfect time to include two. So, I wrote a little something to keep me on track, because y'all know I ran it sometimes. So, on behalf of the Waynesville Police Department, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you guys tonight. Recognize not only Jim and Mary for their tremendous contributions to many to the Waynesville Police Department, to the community, and to the association as well. Heading up classes and coordinating that stuff is a lot of work. And I can't even tell you the countless hours of volunteer hours that they spend every year. They send us a report, and it's astronomical to add them all up. So, their dedication to the community has been enormous. So, but we also wanted to recognize tonight Keith and K9 Luke for what they've accomplished as well. Just to tell you a little backstory, K9 Luke was born on April 10th, 2014, and we come all the way from Poland. He was purchased through a vendor who used commonly utilized down in Florida. And on July 22nd, 2015, the Waynesville Police Department purchased the police service dog, and he originally signed their Officer Ramsey and K9 Luke attended the basic school where he was taught explosive protection, tracking, article searches, and apprehension. And then Luke was the second explosive protection K9 for our agency, and was purchased through an agreement between surrounding local agencies, municipality, and sheriff's office. That if we maintained and trained K9 Luke, they would put the bill for him. In 2017, when Officer Ramsey left their agency,
Officer Presley, became interested in becoming K-9 leader in Hamlet. Officer Presley attended a basic K-9 school through Waynesville Police Department, to learn everything K-9 leader knew, and the fundamentals that went into his training. Officer Presley completed the training after being certified. Officer Presley K-9 leader became a team to hit the ground running, ever since. From that point on, Officer Presley K-9 leader has been a great asset for our agency, surrounding agencies within Haywood County, as well as the resources of the West Carolina agencies that needed an explosive protection K-9. Obviously, everyone knows that we don't get a tremendous amount of call for service regarding explosions, but the value of what K-9 Luke and Officer Presley provides to the community is efficiency in searching a location where a threat has been made, as well as the feeling of security that a complete thorough search has been conducted and everything is safe. The number of resources and time that goes into any instant involving bomb threat are enormous. There are a number of officers utilized in evacuation of everyone within the target area. The emotional strain on everyone involved is untold. Having K-9 is effectively locate potential explosives efficiently and accurately is invaluable. We are blessed to have had K-9 Luke with the agency for so many years. But it's become time to retire, and we rest with Officer Presley for the remainder of his life. Many of you have heard me say before that these K-9s become so close to handlers, and in many cases, they are with their handlers more than they are with their own families. Not only will this agency dissolute, but I'm certain Officer Presley will miss having around in the back seat of the protocol, and there'll be some adjustments to be made if it hasn't already. Trust me, I know that. So keeping with tradition, I would like to present Officer Presley a plaque of K-9 Luke. Not only would Officer Presley be presented with a plaque tonight, but we'll add a duplicate plaque to our K-9 room downstairs, go along with the other dogs and handlers that have come through since the fire passed away. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, Brandon. I'd like to give those folks time to step aside there and, I can go ahead and ask for a motion to open a public hearing. We've got 4 public hearings here tonight. And the first public hearing is to consider a request for an annexation. So I need a motion that we open the public hearing.
So moved.
Go to Julia.
Second.
Second with Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, so like sign. Okay, Elizabeth. There she is.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. For those in the public who haven't met me, my name is Elizabeth Teague. I'm the planning director. And tonight we're doing 3 separate annexation hearings. I'm going to give a little bit of information about all 3 of them, and then that will allow our town attorney to see individual properties public hearing in accordance with their agenda. We have in application 3 contiguous parcels here. The first is an open piece of land with the PIN number ending in 244. People will, this is a highly visible piece of land. It's, and you're going out of town on actual highway, it's a roundabout on the left, right after to the side. And then secondly, we have 68 Hillside Terrace. That's the property whose property identification number 1444. And then we also have 76 Hillside Terrace, That property is the one number 5. So, there are those properties, they are 0.16 miles approximately from the town's boundary. They are within the town's extraterritorial jurisdiction and urban service boundary. They are therefore already zoned as Raccoon Creek neighborhood residential. Next slide. There you can see where they are in proximity to our water and sewer lines. Green is the water, green is sewer coming up here, and then pink are water lines. In fact, the water line that serves Sims Circle goes through these properties. Tonight, representing each of the property owners is Ron Weatherwood. Each property has given him their authorization to speak on their behalf. And with that, I think the best way to proceed would be to handle each property as its own unique annexation request. You will recall that back in November, we did a resolution of intent where we introduced this annexation request, and it meets all the criteria of first state statutes for eligibility. I'm happy to answer questions.
Anyone have any further questions for E.T.?
No, sir.
Okay. Mike, Ron, would you like to speak or anything on it? I'm going to open it up to the public. But you could also speak as a representative. You got anything else you want to add? You got it?
The person asked Eddie to let water line go through that.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Everybody's ready to let go.
Yeah. Okay. Then I will open it up to anyone in the audience there that wants to speak on behalf of this annexation. Okay. Okay. All right.
Can you come forward and give your name?
Yeah. Okay.
Name's Betty Yates.
Okay. Thank you, my friend. Anyone else? Okay.
My name is Beth Parks. I live in that neighborhood, and I just wasn't sure what you're planning to use for. Is that something I can ask here, or?
You can ask, but it's not a part of the inquiry, so we can't force the property owner to tell us what they're going to do with the property.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If there's not anyone else, then I will close the public hearing. And
But you'll need a.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
all right, need a second. Second by Julia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like sign. Okay, if everyone is good with this, the motion on the table here is adoption of attached of the ordinance to approve the annexation of described property.
I'll make a motion to adopt the attached ordinance to approve the annexation of described property in number 8626-012244.
Okay, here's a second.
Second.
Second by Julia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like sign. You're annexed.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing again, right?
Okay.
Before you do that,
Yes,
Yep.
go ahead.
when you go into the public hearing, if we could have the motion to adopt the evidence offered by staff
Okay.
into the record for this hearing, that way Elizabeth is to get up and give her spiel again for it to be technically part of the record.
Okay.
Just trying to clean up the paper trail.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Okay.
Second.
Second by Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I'll make
Opposed, so like sign. Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the evidence presented by Elizabeth Teague from the previous motion into this motion.
Second.
Yes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay, you want to go ahead and follow through this other, is a part of that also. The 76 hillside, is it part of that same?
Yes.
68. This is 68. This is gonna, next one will be 76.
Okay, all right. I gotta pass that down. I'm on this one here, right?
Yeah, 76 Hillside.
Okay, all right. I won't need a, well, I got a motion by them. All right, Elizabeth, you want to speak
You
on
have
this
one
one?
already.
I just entered the evidence from
You
the
just read
previous
it.
one into this one.
You
Yeah,
just
so
read it
the
to-
next one is to ask the public if they
Oh,
have
okay.
anything they want.
Yeah,
if there's
he
any
jumped
comment.
ahead on me. Are there
Mhm.
anyone in the public would like to speak on behalf of the annexation of 68 Hillside Terrace? Okay, if not,
Mr. Mayor, I do have a question for Elizabeth. You don't need to come up. There's no requirement for the town to run any sort of sewer lines or water lines or anything to this, for these properties. Maybe you do need to
There's
come
no
up.
requirement.
Mhm.
There's already a water line that goes
Right.
right up through the middle of it. But if they would like to connect to our sewer, they've already actually been in contact with our public services department. Then they would have to make that request. They would obviously have to, pay for all the required tap fees, test fees, they apply, whatever is the proposal, whatever is going on. We don't know what that is.
Or the other two properties. So if they requested, we would run sewer lines, is that what you're saying?
We would, but it's not automatic. They have to go through the process. Um,
Let's also point out that the water line does go directly through the property.
Correct.
Right, but as far as sewer goes, we would, and would the landowners be responsible for obtaining an easement for that sewer line?
Mr. Leatherwood,
I think I can, these two homes, the one that Buddy lived like, and then one other place, and the septic field, and the harbor field up there. Then the Hector, 68, 76, which house I built. There's, there's septic fields. So we've been trying to sell that property. And usually, this is process, I think, actual process. Everyone has agreed to the annexation. And then we want sewer lines for the home. Road. Now, easement come down the road and maybe up to down the hill. Up the hill.
Okay.
If we what we put in, you play the thing to be one time, what we
yeah.
And then I meant to go there today, it's about 50 feet from where a manhole is, it comes across right there, on the side of the farm. So that's where the color of that.
Jeff had something.
Yeah, I was just that, the line
I see. Okay, great. It sounds like the cost is more minimal to the town. Thank you. But it's not a bad idea to work with them to upgrade the line to get some more people on it in the future.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks up there on septics, aren't there?
Yeah.
Okay, we're at to what, open to the public? I'm
Yeah,
lost.
No, we need a motion to close.
Okay, we need a motion to
I move to
close
close the public hearing.
the hearing.
I'll second.
Your second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay,
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the ordinances approved in the annex of the described property, PIN number 8626. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 8616919354.
okay. I'll need a second.
Second.
Second for Julie, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay, you want to stay there for our next public hearing? Now, I'll need a motion
Did I
again.
do the wrong? I did the wrong.
To open.
Did the wrong one.
I don't know which one we're doing.
What is that?
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm just as lost as you are, Mayor.
I
Are we
I
good?
made the wrong, I said the wrong PIN number, but it was the next motion, the next agenda item.
Okay, so you can make a motion to amend your motion and it
Oh.
can be accepted.
Okay, I'll make a motion to amend my motion, PIN number 8616919354 to be 8626011444.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Don't confuse us.
I know.
Okay, and then you need a motion to adopt the motion as amended. Sorry.
All right, now we need a motion to,
I move that we adopt the motion amended.
I'll second.
second by John, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay. can
I'm
we
sorry,
finally-
guys. I read all the
Okay.
fours.
I move we open the public hearing for annexation of 76 Hillside Terrace Drive. That PIN number ends in 935.
Thank you, Chair. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Anthony, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign.
And I also move that we adopt the testimony of the public, of the development office and the other testimony, the other testimony we've had in the previous two hearings in this hearing.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay. You know where we're at now?
The public
Public
hearing.
comment.
Comment.
Okay, all right. They confused me, but then they bumped in on my thoughts, you know? Now we'll open it up to the public. Does anyone else would like to speak on this other annexation? Okay.
I move we close the public hearing.
I'll second that, Mr.
A
Mayor.
motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign.
And I'll make a motion to adopt the attached ordinance as the approved annexation of described property, this time PIN number 8616919354.
Second.
Okay, got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. All right, we're on number 8, correct?
That's correct.
That's the fastest we've ever gotten through.
All right, we need a motion here to open again, public hearing.
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
Second by John, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Show like sign. Okay. You need to speak on this one, Elizabeth?
For 1460 Russ Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah, this is different.
I want to thank Luke, our Parks and Rec director, for jumping in there. For us. This next public hearing is a rezoning request. This was brought to the town from the property owner, Mr. Kyle Edwards. Representing him tonight is real estate agent Brian Owen here in the audience. The property that we're looking at is just a portion, 1460 Russ Avenue, also known as in 8616 or 8812, from Delwood Residential Medium Density District overlay to the Russ Avenue Regional Center District, also known as RARC. Delwood Residential Medium Density Mixed Use Overlay is an overlay that allows personal and professional offices, government facilities. Within this overlay, we have the vet, we have the Fleetwood County area agents for aging, the credit union. Those are the types of uses that we are seeing develop in the regional center district. You have the types of uses that you see along Russ Avenue. They're very highly impactful with our sort of highest level of flexibility. Allow hotels, drive-through restaurants, large scale, retail, things like across the street. It also allows for shopping. So in this particular instance, it's a very unique part of town in that the property we're looking at is here, and the request for rezoning is just the frontage here. This property, this round area that is part of this lot and also on a separate lot is actually already zoned regional center, West Avenue Regional Center, and just across the street is an oil change place, several commercial interests here, and in this corner is a Kmart shopping mall. So you're just a little above the interchange, Smoky Mountain Highway, and it's a transitional area. So at their regular meeting, the planning board held a public hearing, and they voted 6-1 in support of this application. The primary consideration was the property's frontage along West Avenue, location near the Great Smoky Mountains Expressway, and the fact that the extension of Russ Avenue Regional Center District into this area creates an opportunity for new types of commercial growth. The motions that we're asking you to consider are, of course, that we find that this request is reasonable in the public interest to amend our 2035 comprehensive plan land use map to extend our regional center zoning down Russ Avenue, actually northward of Russ Avenue, for the extent of this request. And then secondly, to go ahead and adopt the zoning map amendment ordinance presented. This would effectively redesignate this portion of the property of Russ Avenue from the residential overlay to the Russ Avenue.
Anyone have questions for Elizabeth? Concerning Chuck?
The planning board made some sort of, in their motion, they also, did they not make a motion to change or amend the 2035 plan?
Correct.
Do we need to do anything with regard to that?
Well, it's written there in your motion consideration.
Okay.
Okay. If you look in your agenda packet for this, the planning board report to you, in your future land use map of the company, the highest level of commercial development ends right before it ends where this property is already zoned regional center. So to extend the zoning and make a change to the zoning, you're effectively also amending the land use map of the company. That's why this motion is phrased that way. The planning board, I will say, did have some discussion. Our planning board members asked, if we're going to rezone this property, why don't we want to go ahead and extend it on to allow for more growth? The feeling of the planning board was, well, we don't have those property owners represented, and we would rather just allow, don't want to encumber this application with ordinance.
And when you say extend it on, you're talking about north on.
Yes, that question was raised. Does it make sense to extend a higher level of commercial use? But at this point, we're really seeing some very effective new development, commercial development along the corridor that might not be necessary. So the planning board just sort of stopped their discussion and limited it to the application.
You said we're seeing some interesting commercial development and we might not need to. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. In the last several years, we've had Shining Rock School. We've had, the Lake Junaluska Community Dentistry that's, developed there. We've had that, we have also had, the credit. Credit union is looking at it. So that mixed use overlay is already allowed types of professional services oriented types of development along that corridor. So if we wanted to have a broader discussion about a higher level of use, about hotels, restaurants, large scale retail, then that might be a separate conversation. But at this point, the town planning board felt like that our discussion about.
So what you're saying is because of the kinds of development that has occurred in the mixed use overlay, we might not need to or want to extend farther north on that road.
Correct. It seems to be developing in a way that is compatible with these properties. In this particular case, though, it makes sense because it's actually adjacent to and abutting to a lot already from Russ Avenue Center, and it's very close to the interchange. So therefore, at least this portion of Russ Avenue, it would make sense to rezone it.
Elizabeth, I'm just curious, it doesn't matter at this point, but I'm just curious as to the land south of this property on the east side of the highway, why it wasn't, I mean, how the property that's already in the.
That's Mr. Davis's property, I assume, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's his estate, and so.
He didn't, so I'm just curious how we
passed
zone
away,
the piece kind of by itself on the right-hand side of the highway without.
I'm not sure how that would be. That's been done
Okay.
That was my main.
But
major
Edwards
thing.
owns a piece somewhere
Right.
there.
That he owns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
it's
major
still
thing is
showing-
how did
then
half a
Mr.
lot
Davis
get
is right there.
zoned
Okay.
differently?
Yeah. So
The
here's-
the piece that's zoned for the Russ Avenue wasn't recently zoned though.
No, it's been so that way a while now.
Okay.
Mr. Nolan maybe answers specific questions on behalf of the Edwards family that he represents. My understanding, though, Brian, you could speak to this, is that they have reconfigured those lots. Kyle Edwards and Sunbird. That's why you have this strange thing where you have regional center zoning going into that lot. The other piece that's worth noting is the portion that he wants to rezone, the portion that's the frontage and that's flat. He's not asking to rezone his entire property because he recognizes that with the steepness, I don't think he feels like that's an area that's
Okay. And the property I was referring to, I certainly it would seem it would be ripe for rezoning if someone wanted it.
Yeah. This is the property that's got like the brick house, brick, yeah, the brick, I know what you're talking about.
I just realized, that house, I forget the details, but Elizabeth, you might remember when I was on the planning board, that a request was made to rezone that, and the planning board at that time and elected not to
Exactly.
rezone it.
Yes, you are correct.
And I believe, it's been almost 10 years ago, I'm sure, the church owned that at that
It's the
point.
parsonage.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the original parsonage, Delwood Baptist.
And if I recall, I voted against that. And this is a notion that has long troubled me, on going back to my days on the planning board, and I'm sure Anthony would probably share this concern, is that if we elect to rezone that property, so we're saying yes to the applicant, how can we say no to the next property owner up Russ Avenue? And so that's always been my concern, and I have yet to find an adequate answer to that. So just want to point that out, that at some point a request had been made and the planning board elected not to approve that request.
And I'll let Brian Nolan took his role as representative of every family speak to that, in terms of what's changed in the last 4 years. Commercial real estate.
So I grew up on Golf Course Road up there beside it. I think you hear there were a lot of if that was for come up or other properties, there might be 2 or 3 other properties that homes that you take the rest of them. So it's $500 things. So this is when we wrote later South Means Max South, Rest Avenue is Max. We were sitting with it, so whenever we get phone calls for information, we expand to that area. Not a lot of options.
Sure. Just lost my train. So I agree with everything you said, and the question becomes is, for me at least, is, it seems natural that if Russ Avenue, and when I think of Russ Avenue, we all grew up here and saw Russ Avenue develop, and Julie, were you guys with Boyd's Restaurant? Were y'all?
It was 2-lane one, yeah.
Yeah, and
I was only like, I was 1 year old.
I used to love Boyd's Restaurant. Yeah. And so we've all watched that development occur. And so if there needs to be more of that, it seems logical to me that that's the location for it. But again, so I think we need to, decide, is that the direction? Do we want to push to extend what I think of as Russ Avenue on down the road there? And I totally understand what Brian is talking about, that there aren't many houses down there now, but there are houses adjacent to that property that would be on the frontage that would be impacted. And I think we need to consider that at least. And so what my ask for this council would be is, do we think that opening up that part of the road to this kind of Russ Avenue development is a good idea? And secondly, what's that going to do to the houses that are maybe not right on the frontage, but adjacent to it.
John, I will just follow up and just say that we just back in November approved, right past right beside Maple Tree, veterinary clinic, to rezone that property to allow the dentist to come in there. So that whole corridor, saving this one piece of property is not going to make a difference because that commercial corridor is happening. And so I think we need to support these, developers and what they want to do with their property. This will make no difference. We've already got the credit union. We've got Maple Tree. We've got a veterinary, a dentist clinic coming in there. We've got, the,
Kmart right across the
and
street.
yeah, and
with
we've
the
got,
automotive,
yeah,
and
and we,
there's
and the,
the church.
the senior center up there on that. So, I don't think we can pick and choose to just not let somebody go into on a corridor that's going to be a commercial corridor coming into Waynesville. We can't say you can't do this with your property, but we'll let all these other people do that with their property.
Well,
That's just a personal opinion.
and I agree with you, but, and Elizabeth, correct me if I'm wrong, what we did back in November to allow the dentist's office, is not on par with what we would be doing here, correct? Because what we did in November to allow the dentist's office would not allow fast food restaurants and that kind of stuff, correct?
Right, the dentist office is already in allowed. It was a site plan because of its scale.
Gotcha. Okay. And I agree with you, Julia. I just think that we owe the homeowners who essentially, think about this. The neighborhoods that were adjacent to Russ Avenue when it was a 2-lane road are almost, totally different now. And I can envision that same thing happening. And maybe that's natural. Maybe it's a good thing. To me, talking myself out of this is that if not there, where, it seems certainly natural that Russ Avenue would, if by nothing other than osmosis, kind of just creep that way. So I just do want to make sure that we as a council understand that Russ Avenue is if I separate what's happening with the credit union and the vet office and the dentist office and all of that stuff is of a different level to me than Russ Avenue. And so are we certain that we want Russ Avenue to ostensibly extend all the way up there? Because I'm going to tell you, this is going to open the floodgates, I would say, in property owners all along that corridor are going to be looking to do the same kind of thing in the future. And I say that with the full understanding that we are only dealing with this particular piece of property at this moment in time.
Okay. Anyone else?
John, you are correct about, there probably will be additional requests. I realize the planning board has looked at, maybe they would not allow additional requests. There's a piece of property, almost right across the street where there's a home. It's the next house after, the church there. And I know that they would like to change the zoning on their property.
It's for sale, yes.
They've not been able to sell for some of the same reasons so and I'm not saying one way or the other, but I'm just saying, yes, I think you're correct. There will be additional requests of how far do we want the heavy commercial development to go as opposed to the lighter commercial development. I guess that's the kind of difference in the two zones. And again, we may not want to go any further. We may just want to just do this particular piece of property. And that's what we're being asked to decide tonight. And I don't think I have a problem with it. And the planning board, I expect they had the same kind of discussion.
They did to some degree. Their interest was in reasonableness and looking at location of this property.
Okay.
Its proximity to the interstate expressway, the fact that it was actually already a budding center, and it is across the street from, say, there's the church and the hippie there's a world place. It just seemed to make sense, but they didn't want to go so far as to say that it makes sense very further. They were very specific just to talk about this. In your ordinance draft that's there for your consideration, we provided you with some language based on the planning board's discussion about finding the rezoning request reasonable public interest. Tying it back to the comprehensive plan is that the fact that it is 345 feet frontage, which is flat, along Russ Avenue, which is a major commercial thoroughfare, and it's located approximately 1800 West Highway. And much of the regional Russ Avenue Regional Center frontage along Russ Avenue has been built out. Expansion of the district on this lot provides economic growth. And then thirdly, that they find that the rezoning itself is consistent with the goals of the comprehensive plan, even though it didn't exactly match up with the future land use map. And the two goals that came forward were to promote smart growth, building use, context sensitive development, and that embedded in that is trying to direct development towards major thoroughfares, infrastructure. And the other goal that it seems to make sense would be to create opportunities for a sustainable economy by strengthening current workforce and encouraging creatively designed multiple commercial districts. And one thing in redeveloping or rezoning this property is so that it's sold to the type of developer who can meet all our requirements, sidewalks, landscaping, parking, like that. But right now, it's sitting empty in that house. And I gather from planning board meetings, it's difficult to sell. So this might be. So those were the thoughts of the planning board.
I think we just need to focus on this piece of property that is before us and not think of hypotheticals down the road. This piece of property is right because it's right off the expressway. And it is basically surrounded by commercial uses.
Well, if the board is ready to have a discussion, if we don't need to gather any more evidence, we can close the public hearing, because I can also, as your lawyer, provide you with some comment.
Okay, I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Got a motion to close? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Okay, now we're open for discussion.
So the points about policy are very well taken about where the board wants to go with this part of the town. But I would caution you from basing your decision on this particular parcel of property on any larger issues, particularly impact to neighbors that were not provided in evidence. So we have not heard any neighbors providing an opinion one way or the other about this proposed rezoning. And so therefore that is the definition of arbitrary decision you want to uphold. So in the context of this, if the board feels it is consistent with our long-term plan and land use map, and you wish to make, whatever decision the board wishes to make, that's the context in which you reach your decision this evening. But as far as broader scale impacts, we would have needed to have some expert witness testimony from someone in order for this board to form a bulletproof decision against rezoning on those grounds. There may be other grounds that this board feels would be appropriate, but to the extent that this is part of a larger conversation about what to do with this area of town, we should direct the planning board to present us with options, ask the planning department to present some options to the board, and have a legislative discussion in order to reach a decision. And if the board feels that rezoning this particular property this evening is not in the town's best interest, because we need to have that legislative conversation, do that, as long as your motions are, appropriately phrased and we have the proper basis. But just as your lawyer, I want to make sure we aren't getting our hairs crossed and making decisions that could open us up to future problems with regards to this particular landowner.
Yeah, but this property was posted a sign that it was going up for rezoning, correct? And it was also
Yes,
advertised in the
absolutely, yeah.
newspaper.
I've never heard this. You've never said this in any of the properties that we've annexed or been asked to annex.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah, you've never give us this.
Well, I didn't feel like any of those hearings tread into these larger issues that we didn't have evidence in the record to substantiate a decision based on that information. So
I thought so, that if there was any problem with it, and it was posted, and the folks next door, whatever, they should have seen it posted.
that is a conclusion the board could reach.
It's been posted and it also was advertised in the newspaper, so it ain't like it ain't been, put out there as a public too.
So as far as the board's discussion,
Yeah.
I'll now step back and let y'all decide what you're gonna do. I just wanted to, based on the evidence that was given, want to make sure that the board reached its decision on the proper legal grounds.
Yeah.
That's all.
I thought that's why we advertise it in the newspaper, and that's why we put signs out there for the neighbors or whoever's got a problem with it. They show up just like they did for the Leatherwood property,
That's correct.
and no one's here that I see that has a problem with it, correct? Anybody? The one that's to speak on it.
I think it's just the opposite. I think I think that people are in favor of it, and that more people would be in favor of having their properties rezoned based on what I know.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we follow the wishes or the decision of the planning board, unless there's serious opposition or there's serious disagreement we have. I mean, I do want to honor their decision and the deliberation they had and the way they looked at things. And again, it is this piece of property, and it's right next to another piece of property. It's 40 zones away. And we might need a little development on that in town, like a gas station.
Yeah, for sure.
Not sure about fast food restaurants.
I know my husband would be very upset if it became another fried chicken restaurant.
Oh, please God.
Yeah, that's right. We need more chicken. Okay. We're to the point where somebody needs to give me some kind of.
You have to get Anthony to do that.
Guidance.
Qualified.
Some kind of guidance here,
Yes.
I'll make the motion based on what she said.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to find that the request is reasonable in the public interest to amend the 2035 comprehensive plan future land use map to extend the regional center zone designation along the road frontage of Russ Avenue, in that it meets two goals. One is to continue to promote smart growth principles in land use planning and zoning, encourages infill, mixed use, and context sensitive development, and it creates opportunity for sustainable economy, encourages creatively designed mixed use walkable centers and commercial districts that appeal to residents and visitors.
I will need a second from someone.
Second.
Second from Chuck. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, go like sign.
I'd also like to make a motion to adopt the zoning map amendment ordinance as presented to redesignate a portion of the property at 1460 Russ Avenue in 8616248812 from the Dalewood Residential Medium Density District Mixed Use Overlay, DRMMXO, to Russ Avenue Regional District, RARC, and that it continues to promote smart growth principles in land use planning and zoning and encourages infill mixed use content sensitive development.
Need a second?
Second.
Second by Julia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. Good. Okay. I feel like I've been done with the
Mr.
books.
Mayor, this is not on the agenda, but can I bring this up while Elizabeth is still here?
Sure.
We had decided that we were going to have some members of our board meet with the planning board.
Right.
Do we still need to schedule that?
We met.
We met
Did
and I
y'all meet?
was not able to attend that.
We met for sort of a meet if we would, and I reached out to Jake Crosby, he's reworking our schedule of meetings and is going to send us a revised set of meetings all of our calendars.
Okay.
We hope to begin that process.
Okay, that's great, because as all this comes up, there are all sorts of other things that come up. I was just mentioning to Julia that lighting is something that's kind of interesting about these
Corridors.
developments, corridors. You know, we don't regulate that very much, and maybe we could regulate that a little bit. Just with regard to this particular case, but there are many other things that I know that are going to be discussed. And time is of the essence now that our sewer plant's going to be online in another year.
I'd rather get ahead of
earlier
this.
than that. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth, and please drive home safely. I'm not sure what he's doing outside. If anybody's guess, okay, we will move on to reclassify one senior customer service position to a payroll specialist and change it from a grade 55 to a grade 61. Miss Misty.
Changes in the department with the assistant finance director retiring and a new position that you all I've been able to look at all of my positions, read the job description. So I would like to take one of the senior customer service positions and change it to a payroll specialist. One of the senior customer service positions did a majority of the payroll, and the assistant finance director doing part of payroll. So I want to have one person run all of payroll from beginning to end, file all of the reports. So it's a little more technical and like upgraded from grade 5 to grade 1.
Okay. Any questions for Misty?
That's a great idea.
I move we approve the reclassification of one senior customer service position to a payroll specialist and move it from grade 55 to grade 60.
All right, got a motion.
Second.
Second, Julia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign. I hear you got a good assistant finance director coming.
Yes,
Yeah, I spoke with her mom. I didn't realize that's who that was. Her name is Taylor, is that correct? Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, yeah, that is the lady that's the manager of Talent Livestock.
Joy, I spoke with her as
Yeah.
well. And she's excited.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
we're excited for her. She starts the 22nd, correct? I have to stop by there and meet her. If she's as good, sweet as her mom, she's good.
She is.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Mom
the
is not
next item.
necessarily that sweet. She's the administrator of the town of Clyde. You don't want to mess.
I'm not saying that she's a
I know.
pushover.
I agree with you, Chuck. You've been there, haven't you?
Oh, no, I like her a lot.
I do, yeah. The next, item is, the Eagles Nest Booster Station Rebuild Project, Assistant Public Works Director Ricky Foster.
Good evening, Mayor. Distinguished board. Eagles Nest District Station rebuilding originally budgeted last year for $9,000. We got the equipment. This project will include a new SCADA system, reservoir, the main reservoir, concrete, tuning pumps, all the equipment. After revision of this project, we had the closest one to 200,000, 224, 9. Rest for we had a 10,000.
Anyone have any questions for Ricky concerning this? It's just one of those maintenance things that comes along that we have to do. Okay, then I'll ask for a motion to award the Eagles Nest Booster Station upgrade to TP Howard in the amount of $224,990.
So moved.
A motion,
Second.
second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Show like sign. You ready to break ground? Okay, the next thing is, interview logics of planning.
I'll take that.
Okay, Rob.
As Jesse frequently, reminds you, we have a, vacancy in the planning board. We have one, applicant, and, he asked, who would like to interview him and when he would like to interview.
Well, I mean, I think, he's a principal for high school, so.
Elementary
Available
school.
after 4 o'clock.
Oh, that's perfect.
I'll be glad to help.
Okay, you got Chuck.
I'll be
Anybody else?
happy to help as well.
Nancy? You got something? Okay.
Any particular day you'd like us to, or do you just want to give us a ring when you check your calendar?
Apparently free.
I'm
Probably right.
I'm
He gets out
good
at 3,
after 4
that's-
o'clock.
Just in general?
You gotta
Okay.
work it out with Nancy.
Yeah.
Mansfield, too.
Yeah,
The good news is it's almost a guarantee we will approve. He's an excellent candidate. He's applied before. It's
True, I
his
remember.
jobs.
I thought that name
Do-
looked familiar.
And,
And
look
whose
forward to
vacancy
talking
is
to
this
him.
taking?
Well, anyone who can handle a middle school or planning board.
It's actually elementary school principal.
Oh, okay.
With that being said, could we get a,
All right, Rob, you got
I
that?
got
Yes,
one
sir.
more thing to say on the planning
All
board.
right, we'll move on to,
Mayor, I have one more thing to ask.
okay.
If we could get a, schedule of all the attendance from all the board members from the planning board.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Everybody good? All right, then we'll move on to item 12, select the contract administrator to aid the staff in administrating the CDBG one infrastructure grant. Rob Hines.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're moving into this contract, and so I'll be talking to you for both 12 and 13. One, that will start out as a contract administrator, that under the general statutes, it doesn't follow the same procurement guidelines as to architects, engineers, and surveyors. This is an administrator. We received 2 bids, or 2 proposals on this. A committee of the staff looked into that, and the state provided a grading scale for them, and your committee recommends to you that the administrative contract be awarded to McGill and Associates.
Okay. Any questions for Rob? Okay, we'll need a motion in that order.
Can I, before we do that, can I ask,
Sure.
are we also going to have a motion to approve them as engineers for the program?
That's has to be a second item.
Right, I'm just,
Yes,
I'm asking, is that a problem? I'm gonna have them do both.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm waiting for, a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve the McGill Associates as the grant administrator to carry out the CDBG-1 program, federal program requirements, and authorize the staff to negotiate a contract for the service.
motion by Anthony. Second by Chuck. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, show like sign. Okay,
In your next item, we had 3 firms to provide proposals for the engineering, bidding, design, bid, construction observation, and report, and engineer reporting for the same project. We chose to interview 2 of the 3, and the committee chose McGill and Associates because of their extensive experience with the state of North Carolina's Community Development Block Grant Infrastructure Program. And so what we will do with this one, because it is an engineering project, we'll negotiate a contract with them. The state's going to require a lump sum contract. We'll bring that contract back to you at your next meeting. Okay. Should we be able to negotiate it? If we cannot negotiate it, then we'll report to you that we were unable to negotiate a contract, and you'll move to the next bidder.
actually McGill was one that helped us, get this grant.
That's correct.
From the beginning, right? That's correct. I remember the little lady, she never run out of breath.
Well, she'll be your contract administrator.
Okay.
And then the design team are the general engineers that work out of Asheville.
Yes, she's top. Okay, he needs another motion here to approve the McGill Associates as the engineering firm to carry out design, bidding, and construction administration and engineering report for the CDBG-1 grant, and authorize the staff to negligate a contract for the service. Anyone?
So moved.
A motion by John,
Second.
second by Anthony. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Rob. All right. Well, as we move here to old business, I just realized that we have appointed Rob back as the town manager on December the 12th. We need to follow through with that, correct? If that's what you want.
Yeah.
If we want to keep them on.
On December the
Maybe we need to
12th,
go
we
into
usually
closed
reappoint the town attorney and the town manager.
Well, I'm not sure about the town manager. He has a contract. We don't need to do
Yeah.
anything with him.
He has to be appointed every 4 years.
Unless his
Some
contract is
cities
run
have
out.
done it, some haven't. I'm happy
Isn't
to
that what it
stay.
is, John?
I thought,
It's been that way when I look at the minutes every time.
Yeah.
That's been the tradition in more ways.
Yeah.
Even though I do have a contract.
I don't think anyone else is begging for the job, so.
I'll make a motion to appoint Rob Heiss as the town manager for the town of Waynesville.
Okay, got a motion.
second,
Okay, I'll
Se-
second.
Second by Julia.
John and
And
I.
I'm sorry I didn't remember that on December the 12th. Okay.
You had other things to do. Yeah, don't swear yourself in.
Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show like sign.
I appreciate it.
And the
And we're
town
gonna
attorney
be discussing,
we're still negotiating about whether a full-time or we need to.
Mr. Mayor, I think we appointed Martha. I don't think we need to reappoint.
Exactly.
You do, every 4 years.
we are gonna have a larger discussion. at the
Look back
next
at,
meeting.
the minutes. from
Just
the-
because we've always done it that way doesn't mean that's correct.
Well.
I'm old school. I've been here 28 years and I've done it for 28 years.
Because you hired a very good lawyer, I put an auto renewal clause in my contract, so you're safe.
Yeah, okay, all right,
I'm here until you fire me.
all right. So you'll need to reappoint?
No.
No.
Okay, all right, I'm just making sure this is the way I did it for 28 years. And, I mean, you guys change it, do whatever, but that's the way I followed through, correct? Yes, John?
I'm
John,
with
I've been
you.
there with me.
I'm with you,
We're
Mayor.
only been here
Julia been
since.
there with me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure we do things in the correct manner.
And that's fine. We can remove her at any
That's true, you can do that too. Mhm.
Okay. All right, then the appointment, to the member of the council for TDA board.
I don't have anything to report. I put this back on the agenda,
Yes,
because it's old business.
okay.
I think you were gonna discuss amongst yourselves who would throw
Okay.
themselves on the fire.
All right,
I will agree to, throw myself on the fire again.
all right. Sure.
I am
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not arguing.
But someone else
There's
needs to make the
zero
motion.
argument, John, thank
We
you.
will
Someone else
argue
needs
with
to
you,
make the
even
motion.
though I thought
I,
Chuck would do it if you don't want to.
I'm good.
I would like to nominate, Councilman Fiker to continue service on the TDA board.
Okay, we need a second.
Second.
Second, by Anthony, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, show light sign. All right, my
And
friend.
I'll
We'll
report
come
this.
back to it.
Yeah, I'll report this to the county manager.
Okay.
I think this has.
Yeah, I think the county
Go to
has to do
the, goes
that.
to the county commission as well.
But John, we understand what other things that you got going on too. I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
My thoughts and prayers are with you.
I do appreciate it.
You got it. Comprehensive transportation study for the entire of East Street, Rob Hines.
In October, Councilmember Fichter brought up a request to conduct a comprehensive transportation engineering study for the entirety of East Street. And we met with JMT. They suggested that they write their proposal so that there would be 4 segments of $4,500 apiece, totaling up into the $16,500 range. That way, if there were segments you weren't interested in studying, you could say, okay, I'd like segment A and segment B. We're not interested in C or B, or any combination. They just wanted to make it easy on you because of the interesting nature of East Street. So the item is brought back for your discussion, and I can provide any details. I think you know what goes into a traffic study. I will mention that JMT did study the traffic cushions. They were not correctly installed once they measured them, but they suggested that rather than just take them up, the asphalt plant is not open, doesn't help any. But if they do an additional study, they may have additional ideas for slowing down the traffic in that particular area.
They probably should have done the half of those on Locust Drive.
So they
That
weren't
was
installed correctly?
That would have slowed
So
people down.
they're too low.
Yeah, that would have slowed people down. You drive on those in Locust Drive, you will know.
Is there a way once the asphalt plants start that we could go back to the company that installed those and make sure that they do it correctly?
I think it would make a
We'll-
difference, don't you,
We'll
John?
try to have JMT get up there to determine. Western Carolina paving did it.
I'm sure they'll come back and correct.
You've seen them go there. Okay, do we need to do anything on that, or you want to
let-
still have a parts of it studied, or?
Let me, I was the one that brought this back to the board. Perhaps beating a dead horse, I recognize.
I know what you're dealing with.
And I appreciate Rob digging into this. As I read through the proposal, it struck me that the entirety of East Street is probably not, the speeding is probably not a problem on all of these segments. Maybe coming down the hill and both of those. Well,
I said at the bottom of both of those hills.
Well, but then again, if I think about, I'm thinking about, going out and, when I get to the bottom of the hill here and then start up, I'm naturally going to slow down, but the people that are coming this direction are coming down the hill and chances are they're going to speed up. So, obviously, I mean, I am thankful to know that the measures that we put in place that we hoped would slow traffic in that particular vicinity were, it wasn't the measures that we implemented, it was the way they were installed. So, but I do think that, and the other thing that kind of rose to my thinking is what's going to happen when Russ Avenue, starts the real work on Russ Avenue starts. Are we going to see some additional traffic on on East Street as kind of a cut through or detour kind of thing? So I personally would like to see us move forward with the studies, but then again, I also could be persuaded that we see what, if we made the changes to the speed cushions on that downhill section that we currently worked on, maybe that would help. So
Yeah, also the thing that I thought, the addition of that, like we got it on Brown Avenue at the school, that shows your speed, and like going up country club. You have one of those in those areas of those hills right there, and people sees that and it says you slow down, you're over speed or something like that. Those things, I mean, it gets mine when I go to the country club. It gets mine when I go to Brown Avenue.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't that use statistics as well?
Yes.
So it will tell us if there's speeding in that area.
So you add those to that cushion redoing and just about,
Well, one of those computers cost almost exactly what 1/4 of this study costs. If they suggest a computer and you've already want one, then
that's what
you
you're
pay
gonna do.
$4,500 for the computer.
Rob, how much money, we've already done 6 studies, I understand, on
Five,
this
I
same
think.
street, and how much money have we already invested? And what's gonna be different between this new study versus the other 6 studies that have already been done?
I think you're gonna say make
Probably.
the cushions bigger, and they're gonna say add those signs.
As long as that is an emergency travel route for our ambulances, police cars, and fire trucks, our ability to slow traffic with speed bumps, speed tables is limited. We can't use those tools. So cameras and speed cushions or actually narrowing the road with what's called a road diet. I'm not in favor of a road diet on East Street. Those are things that traffic engineers talk about. The other thing, the last study we had suggested that one of the biggest problems on East Street is traffic is too low. The speed limit needs to be increased, not decreased. It needs to be 35. So your study will probably show a recommendation to increase the speed.
So let me get back to my question, was how much money have we spent on the 6 previous studies? And you'll have to get back to me, I'm sure. You don't know that off the top of your head. And what is gonna be any difference in this study versus the other prior 6?
because we're studying the entirety of East Street as opposed to just one short section. And I would point out that obviously we haven't gotten it right in the previous 6 studies. So,
I think we might have gotten it right on the last one. It just wasn't implemented correctly. So I would rather go with that and see what happens and maybe get the the speed,
Redo the cushions.
redo the cushions, get one of the signs that says how fast you're going before we go down the route. I think that might actually solve the problem.
The speed thing's definitely, it's urgent.
We can go ahead
And
with
then
your
leave it
permission
open
and
that
purchase
we-
a couple more of those and try them out.
Yeah, and then if that doesn't
as
solve
we
the
wait
issue,
on
then we
the-
need to do a full
Yeah.
study.
As we wait on the weather to warm and the asphalt plant to increase, we can go ahead and buy another couple of those computers and put them up, see what they do.
Because we all agree that there is a problem on
There
the
is a
street.
problem.
But what is the problem? I'm sorry.
That we have speeders through there.
Is it dangerous?
I believe it is.
Have there been accidents or fatalities?
Only 3 or 4 over the last few years, according to, if I remember what, the police told me.
If I thought it was a huge danger, then I would maybe be in favor of this, but we have a traffic calming policy and citizen driven, and we don't have that for this area.
Well,
We don't have a citizen request for this.
we had a citizen request, and a successful petition.
Right, for this particular area.
Yeah, in the area.
Right.
And there were 2 main,
And in that
components of
petition,
that.
we actually modified and lessened our standards for that and which we certainly didn't have to do. So I'm just saying, I like our traffic calming policy. I'm not sure that I like all the traffic calming measures, but in this particular case, I agree with Anthony. Why don't we wait?
Let's definitely put, the speed signs.
I'll see if I can order a couple of computers.
Well,
Then we'll
and
know
Rob,
definitively
before
if
the
there's
asphalt.
speeding.
do you need to order more? I mean, we have some that are, I mean, there's been one on Sulphur Springs Road for 6 months now. Can you not move it?
That we move it.
Certainly.
I mean, it seems like you can move them around. You don't have to purchase another one for $4,500. I'm not asking you to do that. Yeah.
Where, or they solar?
No, I can't honestly.
I think they're wired in. But I think definitely if
But
you put
it's-
one at the bottom of the field, it's gonna get attention, But I think you need them on both ends.
I mentioned to the folks on East Street that the study showed that we should increase the speed limit. Did not get good feedback on that.
I think you don't want to increase.
Well, my other comment.
But
is
that's
that
what the
we're-
traffic report suggested is the speed limit's too low. There's no way people can go that slow.
One thing I'd like to emphasize is our last speed study showed there are only 750 cars a day on that road. That's not a lot of cars.
It sounds like a lot, but that's not a lot of cars.
Try the speed thing to chill the asphalt. And so they can redo those cushions they brought. There.
Well, if, do what the board wants, I'm happy to, I'll consider it tabled and we'll see how this works and we'll bring it back up if it doesn't work.
Is everybody good with that?
Yes, sir.
John? You good with putting the speed, things up and then later redo the hump?
Sure.
Okay, all right. You need a motion that order, just go.
I think
Everybody.
so.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Move on to the manager's report.
Let's see, I got a couple things. I'm no fan of unfunded mandates, as you know. And we've got I think one of the worst unfunded mandates I've seen in my career is coming down the pike. And thought I'd bring this to you. Jeff kind of leads a group of the public works directors in the county, and they are about to put out a public information statement regarding a new regulation by the Environmental Protection Agency. On December 16th, 2021, the EPA required that all community water systems, that's every water system in Haywood County, develop an inventory of all service line connections, both owned and non-owned and customer-owned, meaning rental and owner-occupied. The inventory must identify the potential presence of lead within each service line connection. The public water systems must complete and submit to the state this inventory by October 16th of 2024. So if you can imagine, we would have to expose every service line on the back of the meter, approximately 18 inches from the meter, to see if the service line to the house contains lead. Fortunately, in my experience in North Carolina, I've never found a residential lead line. Mostly we use cast iron and copper. There is another regulation that's up for discussion right now. It's called up for review and comment, that will require all community water systems to fund the replacement of every lead line between the back of the meter and every house in America. So if we had 200 lead lines in October of 2024, this rule that's coming down will require the city to replace it. In North Carolina, as you know, that is not our property. We don't own the service line from the house to the meter, but EPA is saying we'll have to fund the replacement. So you can see my angst at this, but we will be required to test what metal every water line is.
How
we
much
fund
time?
it?
How do we fund it, and how much time is it going to take?
And we fund it with whatever we've got. There's been no state funding whatsoever. Their comment is you might want to look at a loan. That's the state's comment to the city.
I see that taking a couple full-time positions.
Well, thank God for private industry. There are all of a sudden there are businesses. There are businesses that have been have contacted many of us to let them know that they are specialists in this area, and so we're actually, Jeff is actually talking to different groups about putting out a bid for it. So
For the low price of $500,000.
I don't know. All I could think of was, getting everybody with a pocket knife and a shovel and going out and shoveling 18 inches and then getting your pocket knife and dig into the pipe. And if it comes out and it's got this nice little wedge of lead, then we know it's lead. Otherwise, it's going to be cast iron.
We have to do this from our meter toward their house?
Yes. Yes.
Even though it's not our property?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I've seen this coming out. I've read this.
And of course, this comes out of Flint and Jackson, Mississippi.
Right.
Those issues.
Yeah, the League of Municipalities.
Are we covered from going on people's property?
Those are very interesting questions there.
Jeff, do you?
As of right now, they're looking in the year. That maintains. But they're part of the public education. That's the first step to do. All the time. Our initial service line, they're working on that. But what Rob's talking about is verifying side of the meter. That's what that really is. And now it's in your window after October. So kind of where we're at. Things will change. As we move forward.
The reason I'm bringing this to you tonight, I didn't think it was fair for all of the water systems in the county to put out this public information for comment, and y'all not know anything about any of the background behind it or anything, but I assume that all of it, JSD, Clyde, and all of us will be putting the same statement out.
In publications, can we make sure that that goes in their bills as well?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, and it won't hurt anybody. They'll just see somebody digging on their, on their side.
I should have asked Misty, I'm sorry. Would that be possible? I don't want to tell you to do something that's impossible.
And it's that, after we enjoy the holidays, the next item that we enjoy is our retreat. And I thought you might look at February 23rd. That's a Friday from 8:30 till 4, and see how that suits you. That if you can get your retreat suggestions in, that gives the staff plenty of time to research them and write policy statements and other things in time for that. This is just your standard planning retreat, but normally that's where we get our instructions on the budget.
So you want to try to do that February 23rd?
I just threw that out to start the discussion. We can do it.
I have nothing on my schedule that day, so
I'm clear as well.
which
Me
is
too.
amazing.
I'm open.
Where that out.
It should be fine.
Okay. Please, if you have policy you'd like for us to study, please send them in to my office, and I'll send it out to the department heads, and we'll get things going.
I have a list.
You always do. What we ought to have is 2 retreats. One is your list, and then another retreat with everything else.
I keep a list going through the year, so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, February 23rd, 8:30. We'll have it at the Public Works Department as we do.
Okay. As we do. You have anything else?
No, sir.
The summary judgment is scheduled in the audible case. It was set for Tuesday. Judge decided, we don't know what day, so sometime next week. I'll be in court
Okay.
on that motion.
Okay.
Mhm.
And
Can you let me know? I'd like to sit in the back,
Absolutely.
bring some popcorn.
mhm. Okay.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Communication from staff. Anthony, was on your end.
I'm good, sir.
Good. John?
No, sir.
You have anything? Ms. Julie?
No, sir.
Chuck?
I just want to report briefly, 30 seconds. The Environmental Sustainability Board is meeting twice a month, planning a 6-hour meeting next month at one of the meetings, and they're pretty much full attendance all the time. The grant was submitted for the expert help from DOE, and they think it's a good grant application. Whether we get it or not, we don't know, but it was good. Lots of folks on the committee worked on it, so they're doing well. So I'm real pleased. Yeah.
Yes. Good. The only other thing I have, I'm sure you got that email from David about the Sutton property up there. Okay, that's under some.
And there was another email from Elizabeth, who also responded, letting him know that it'd be great if they could clean up some of the cars too.
I don't know, you didn't get it.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about, but if the Sutton property is getting cleaned up, that'd be great.
No, it ain't.
Well,
I will send you that email.
Okay, yeah,
I have
if someone
it-
could
I have it right
include
here.
me on the email chain, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, I
Thank
will,
you.
I will send that email here
Yeah.
before you leave
Yes.
that David sent to us. The problem is that one of the earns is asking for the property to be sold because they can't come together about.
Oh, someone's
dividing-
filed a partition.
dividing it up, yeah.
Okay, well,
Moving along.
Speaking of emails, I've received an email from the mayor yesterday. And instead of responding via email, I called the mayor and I said, hey, and I said, I'm responding to your email. And Gary said, I did not send you an email.
You
I-
did better than I did.
I in turn called Jesse, and Jesse said, when he gets back tomorrow, he's gonna investigate if that's one of their phishing things to see who responds and who
Yeah.
doesn't, or if it was a malicious.
I failed the
attempt.
test.
Attempt.
It came from @my.com. If you click on his name, it'll tell you where it comes from, so you can.
It
Instantly.
was not,
a fish-
the test.
It's not,
So
I
it is
report-
malicious.
Correct.
yes.
I reported it as phishing.
I did too.
Mhm.
After I responded.
Yeah, but we all need to be aware that, yeah.
Sorry.
I always click on the name. and see the
If I've got something, I will call you.
And
Just like
that's, I did, I was
Julia
like,
said,
hey.
if I got something, I will call you.
Yeah.
I'm not that person. Okay, if that's everything we have tonight, then I'll ask for you.
It's Julia.
Me? Yes,
Your turn.
I moved that we adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
that's what I was waiting for. Any second?
Chuck,
Chuck, second. All in favor,
Yeah.
say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so like sign. So they found that for you, baby.
Yeah, that was.